Welcome to Political Paradigm. I'm Terry Kumi. Now, the much anticipated Anambra election has come and gone finally, with the incumbent governor, Professor Chukwuma Soludo, re-elected for another term. Now, that election was an interesting one because of the entire intertwined politics that surrounded it. From the heated polity to security concerns, election observers report that it turned out largely peaceful in the end. Now, for every election, what we try to do is review the process to determine whether or not there are improvements or room, at least, for improvement. Now, a coalition of civil society organizations has declared that the official results of that election released by INEC are consistent with its independently verified estimates, affirming the credibility of the electoral process. The CSO coalition says that 711 citizen observers were deployed across the 21 local government areas of Anambra State through its Watching the Vote project. And out of these, 250 stationary observers were posted to a randomly selected sample of 250 polling units. The coalition named the Anambra Election Observer Hub comprised the Yaga Africa, the Kuka Center, International Press Center, Center for Media and Society, Nigeria Women Trust Fund, Elect Her, and TAF Africa. Well, I'm now joined by the CEO of TAF Africa, that is the Albino Foundation Africa, Mr. Jake Epelle, who is also a European Union ambassador. Welcome to Political Paradigm.
Thank you. Thank you, Terry.
And welcome back from Anambra State. I see you've just come directly from the airport.
Yep.
I'm sorry to drag
you.
you.
Work never stops.
Work never stops. But I can also tell that you're in high spirits. I'd like to get your general assessment. You followed that conversation. I saw your initial interview with my colleague Jeff on, I think, the night before.
I was the first
election.
guest.
The night before that election. So let's get your general thoughts, because it's now been considered or judged to be one of the most free and fair polls of the country in recent times. What do you say?
To a large extent, I agree. There were highs and lows during this election. The first one that comes to mind is the almost near excellent logistic deployment. The INEC did a good job, I must say, in terms of making sure that they got to the poll on time. I was with Jeffrey, my friend, at 6:48, and surprisingly, we saw security operatives right there before I got there. Jeffrey probably got there before me. And then we saw at 7:07, INEC driving in with their staff and ad hoc staff and setting up. I want to believe before 8:15 they were already, before 8 o'clock they were set up. But the problem was that there were no voters. So it took about 9:30 before we started seeing trickles of voters. And at that point, I did say to Jeff, watch, we're going to have voter apathy. Because we were in the polling station where the minimum in previous election that you find before 9 o'clock is about 2,000, 3,000 people. And when we saw a handful of people, it was obvious that we're going to be plagued with voter apathy. And that's exactly what happened. So the highs were the fact that INEC did a good job. I would score them, and I'm very, very, very careful with my numbers. When I wish I was a teacher, I would have been a very, very, what they call wicked teacher.
Wicked one.
In terms of numbers.
Let's be a little...
I would score INEC above average.
Let's be a little more detailed with this you're scoring, because the idea is to understand what areas specifically that improvements were made, because we've always understood logistics concerns, and anyone listening now would ask you if your observation cuts across the 21 local government areas of the state. So in what areas did you see improvements? And what areas do you think there's room for improvement as far as the electoral umpire is concerned?
Thanks, Terry. I think you asked a very intelligent question. The area of my coverage is very pivotal to my analysis of the election. Now, at South Africa, we are focused on inclusion. That that doesn't stop us from having an overview of the general election, because I keep saying that if there's no credible election, if there's no holistic delivery on the election, then there'll be no inclusion. And so what we do at South Africa is to work with INEC, take their data plus the data we have, interrogate those data, analyze them, and go back to them and say, this is the thorough analysis of the data we have. So our focus is to look at where there are presence of persons with disability. We don't do a statewide or nationwide deployment. We deploy guided by data science. So we say, okay, let's say out of the 5,000 plus polling unit, there are presence of persons with disability in disaggregated manner in 1,000. So that's where we will deploy. We will deploy guided by that data where persons with disability
are more concentrated.
Yes. So on the basis of that, I can tell you that INEC, in terms of deployment, our report shows about 74.9%. Again, I put a caveat. It's only on the polling unit that we observe that has presence of persons with disability. It's not all the polling unit. So I wouldn't have scored INEC 74.9.
But Mr. Epelle, you were part of the entire Anambra election hub team that went, the Coalition of Civil Society Organizations. So I'd like to think...
The USGGN.
Good. I'd like to think that you would have the information across board, even though you concentrated in a particular area.
I do. The 711 observers that were reported, 150 of them are from us. 25 again are sign language interpreters. So you're talking about 175 out of the 711. Now, generally, the logistic deployment was near excellent. The security management of the election were near excellent. Those are the two highs for me. The third is result collation and announcement. Fantastic. I was going to send a text to the new INEC chairman congratulating him. And there's some paradigm shift issues that I'm going to deal with when it comes to INEC chairman, because many of us have said, oh, it's a litmus test for him. They forgot the fact that it's not INEC chairman that runs election like that. Yes, he supervises it. Yes, he has the authority to hire and fire. Not even the REC. He can't even hire and fire the REC. Yeah. Which is something that I am a proponent of, that a law or a provision of the law that gives INEC chairman the power to discipline the REC, because he doesn't have that, And so, yes, he can call him or her to order, but in terms of hire and fire, no, he can't. He has to go through the process. But that's a story for another day. So the third was management of result. It was perfect. It was perfect. I think the fourth was, for the first time, we saw the Vivas. The Vivas worked. By 6 p.m., 7 p.m. on Sunday, 98.7% of the results have been uploaded. It shows you that this crap of glitches is human-driven glitches. If we want to run election in this country perfectly and everything uploaded, it is possible. We've seen it in Anambra State. So where are the lows? The lows were voter apathy, vote trading. The buying and selling of votes was reckless. And Terry, it was across board. From the ruling party to the least of them, there were vote buyers and sellers. And that's what is plaguing our democracy.
But we had 45,000 policemen deployed for this. They didn't see that?
45,000 policemen. I challenged the commissioner for police in Oka.
Yeah.
first of all, let me congratulate the police force and the entire security architecture. Good job, well done. But I don't think, this is my personal opinion, that the numbers they tell us that they deploy is actually absolutely true. And I challenge the commission. I said, please text me, send me document to show that you actually had 45,000 that were escalated to 60,000. You know, so that brings me to a point that I've been making. We don't need this number of security to run an election. We don't need it. It's unnecessary. It's too expensive. It's not realistic.
So how do we forestall violence then?
Well, we need a strategic security orientation. What we saw in Anambra State wasn't really because they deployed. It wasn't really because they were show of force. It was just simply the fact that the typical Anambrarian, that they call themselves, are peace-loving. They're peaceful. They didn't want, they are more interested in their businesses. And of course, surprisingly, on that election day, there are some of them that opened their offices and they were doing their businesses. There were some markets that were open and they were doing their businesses, which is a problem for us. You know, the people have lost trust and confidence in the electoral process. And this new INEC chairman needs to wake up to the reality. All of us, including civil society, we need to go out there and rebuild the confidence of the people and bring them back to the polls. Otherwise, we will have the worst voter apathy in other elections.
When we talk about voter apathy, with regard to Anambra election specifically, I have seen comments that suggested that quite a number of people were not aware that there was going to be an election on that day. And it's shocking to me as well. Also, watching reports that people had their shops open.
Oh, yes.
And people were playing football. Well, playing football has become a thing, has always been a thing in Nigeria. But when you have a situation where you have 2,788,000 voters.
I know, less than 500 or 600.
Yes, just about 595 people come out to vote. What could be wrong in that?
That is, if you are to be in a civilized society, those elected will have credibility issues. They will have almost a doubt on their mandate.
Because
that's
they
not
were
what I'm
not
preaching.
elected by majority.
The majority,
of the people.
but that's not what I'm preaching. It's not their fault that people didn't come to vote.
Whose fault is it?
Well, the system. The system. We need to rejig the electoral system. Everybody keeps shouting about reform. Nobody is paying attention to actual reform. You know, we need to rejig the electoral system. We need, look, listen, I am a proponent of unbundling INEC. It's just too big elephant that can't step on the green grass. INEC is just too big. There's a need to unbundle it. If I were this INEC chairman, I will focus on that. Let's do a shift and begin to talk a bit about INEC. But INEC's greatest problem is that the previous administration of Mahmoud, see, my brother, if you want, Mr. Momo is making a success of Channel because he invests in people. Human capital. You know, in this country, what we do is we will take billions and build building and wants to pay people peanuts. What do they say in business? When you pay peanuts, you get what? Monkeys. You understand? It's people that runs the system and the structure. If you don't invest in people, you appreciate them, they can't make reasonable progress. Here's the point. INEC current workforce is absolutely begging for capacity. INEC current, they are demobilized. The previous administration did not invest adequately in capacity. Many of them are really frustrated. I know that during the days of Jega, even national commissioners were trained. I didn't see, maybe it's happening, but nobody knows about it.
On, on the issue of voter apathy, which you believe that INEC has a lot of responsibility in that regard.
Not too much. I wouldn't say.
But the issue of distrusts, that's
Yes.
where I was going. The
Yes.
distrust between INEC, because I think the CSO report over time has suggested that under Mahmoud Yakubu, the voter apathy was increasing.
Yes.
Because of the distrust between the people and INEC.
People lost confidence in the system.
But beyond that,
the process.
the issue of vote buying is tied to voter apathy. The reason is people come out, see votes being bought, and feel like there's no need to trust the process.
Of course.
But now link that as well, and this is a very interesting linkage. Link that as well to security agencies. And I asked a question about security agencies being present and seeing votes being bought. There are reports that the security agencies stood by and did nothing. There are also reports that a couple of people were arrested. And there are reports that I think Serap has asked that they should be tried as quickly as possible. So when you link all this together, it almost suggests that the Nigerian electoral process has a huge task. The INEC chairman and whoever else is involved has a huge task ahead of general elections.
Absolutely, Terry. Listen, I saw EFCC, in group. And I wonder what they were doing in one group. I'm telling you, like 20, 30 people in one polling station. And they came like ants. And then fizzled out. While they were in this polling station, vote buying was going on like 2-3 polls away. And the interesting thing about Anambra vote buying system, they have introduced a new dimension, POS. We saw POS. We saw liquid cash. People carrying cash in Ghana must go. So the strategy is, as you're passing, they're asking you, we want to pay you if you vote for us. So you pass, go and vote, come back, show them evidence, they give you your money. How much? 3,000, 4,000. And that brings me to the cause and philosophy of vote buying. What is the cause? A lot of people have attributed it to poverty. I don't agree. Rather, I would attribute it to more of greed. Just greedy folks who wants to make money. There are new dimensions that we saw that will shock you. Now they are beginning to have agents of vote buying. So a particular person will say, look, I will get you, get them to pay you, but I'll take 1,000 naira from you. It's funny. It's funny, So, So the point is, these guys are driven by greed. Many of them are political party members. They are politically aware. Okay? So they do that. And then, of course, the philosophy, the wicked philosophy of it is take the money from them, vote your conscience. And I want to use your program to debunk that. That once you take money from somebody, you've lost conscience. You can't vote anything conscience.
The sad truth is not everybody cares about a conscience. A lot of people will argue that it's weaponization of poverty. And I think channels also covered that. Our correspondents covered that, where you could hear the voters asking the agent how much.
Exactly.
Meaning, how much do you have to offer for this?
And they go to the highest bidder.
Yeah, Mr. Epelle, I'm looking at it from this point of view. We have repeatedly complained or drawn attention to the issue of vote buying. Sometimes, most times, it's physical cash. You've also brought the aspect of POS.
Or transfer.
It's security agents that are supposed to see that and curb it. It has persisted, meaning there's a failure in that regard. Will we continue to toe the same path, or are there better ways we can address this issue of vote buying beyond the polling units?
Well, here's the thing. It's often said that it's only a madman that picks up a bottle, throws it into the air, puts his head, and thinks he won't break his head. It's only madness. And if we keep doing the same thing, we'll keep getting the same result. There's no doubt about that. The problem is that, number one, every now and then, EFCC will come out. Police will tell you, no, it's not their business to arrest. It's EFCC. EFCC will come out and say, we arrested 200 people for vote buying. We don't see the list. We don't see them in court. Yes, in fairness to them, the judicial process takes a longer time. And oftentimes, they will end up spending money to prosecute. And that's why this Electoral Offences Commission is beginning to raise his head again, the advocacy for it, you know. But however, the point is, when you keep arresting people, you don't punish them, you don't put them in jail, or you arrest, Abuja calls you, you release, you arrest, and within the same place, because he's the son of one powerful politician and all that, he goes to the commissioner of police, the same person, or EFCC, the same person ordered for the arrest will then call, say, leave that man. He's a person of interest. Rubbish. You are weaponizing other people to get involved in the trade. For Anambra State, it was huge transactional platform. There are people who are smiling to the bank now.
That's a very terrible thing.
Yeah.
Mr. Epelle, you comment the beavers and the IREV, and some would question if it is not location-based. Because I've had this conversation with politicians in the core north who believe that they still don't have coverage. And so while you may commend, say, the beavers for working here, it may not work in, let's say, far deep down in Borno State. Yeah. So what do you say to that?
Terry, I was part of the making of Vivas from day one. Mm-hmm. Some of us who are in leadership position in the civil society, INEC took us into consideration. So we keep interrogating it. Yeah. There are certain aspects of the operation that doesn't really need the internet connection, because it can capture and preserve and go to a place where there is network and then automatically uploads. You understand? I mean, I went through Anambra State. There's hardly anywhere that I went to in Awka, around Awka vicinity, that I didn't have network. So those days are gone where we're blaming everything on network, you know. But there are intra-networking capacity of these Vivas. They can actually function without and wait once they pick up network, they upload whatever you have uploaded, you know. So it's no longer a reason. It's just that crooked politicians knows that they can manipulate the system and enthrone themselves in a position where they have no purpose to serve.
Just before we go, this argument around electronic voting being a solution to voter apathy, what do you think?
Well, I think yes, to an extent, because everybody has phone in their hand, everybody have internet, virtually everybody have internet in their hand. And
we have NIN and all that.
Yeah. So electronic voting can work if politicians would let it work. They won't, because they are afraid that it will shut them off from their rigging and intriguing strategy. That's just it. But I'm a proponent for it. If election must be credible, must be fair, must be inclusive, we need to embrace technology.
Absolutely. Mr. Jacob Epelle, I'd like to thank you very much for your time on Political Paradigm, and thank you for allowing me to drag you all the way from the airport to have this conversation.
It's okay. For Mr. Momo, for everybody in Channel.
We appreciate that.
We're part of Channel family.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Mr. Jacob Epelle is the CEO of TAF Africa. That's the Albino Foundation. He's also a European Union ambassador. We'll take a quick break now. When we come back, we'll extend the conversation, but this time we'll be speaking speaking on an issue with the YPP on the expulsion of a member of the House of Representatives who openly supported Professor Chukwuma Soludo in this just concluded election. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Welcome back to Political Paradigm. Now, last week I had a member of the House of Representatives here, Honorable Peter Uzokwe, who insisted that he was unfairly expelled from the Young Progressives Party for openly supporting the re-election bid of Governor Chukwuma Soludo of Anambra State. And as the saying goes, there are always two sides to a story. In fact, now they say that there's your truth, my truth, and the truth. I'm now joined by the National Chairman of the YPP, Mr. Bishop Amakiri, to discuss that situation and the outcome of the Anambra State governorship election. Welcome to Political Paradigm.
Thank you so much. Terry, you are looking very
well, thank you.
Very shiny.
I'm surprised you're smiling. I didn't think you'd be in high spirits considering the results from that election. I mean,
well, life has to go on.
Yeah, I can imagine. But here's the thing. I think that Honorable Uzokwe, you know, he was here last week and he said a number of things. He would probably, if I were to place a bet on him, he would say, Terry, I told you that we had no chance in that election. I mean, you got about 30-something thousand votes compared to 420-something votes that Soludo got. That's 70-something% of the votes already that he got. So what do you say to that? Because he almost seems justified. And I know he sat here and boasted that the outcome of the result will justify him supporting Soludo instead of the YPP candidate.
Okay, I think, Terry, we need to actually separate the oranges from the apple. The crux of the matter is not about him having his fundamental right to support whoever he wishes to support. After all, this is politics. It's not a religion. But the manner in which people, you know, go about doing some certain things. If you belong to an institution or an organization, that organization has some, guiding documents that guides, you know, that organization. And before you get yourself into the organization, it's expected that you should go through that. In the case of political parties, for example, I know political parties' documents are called constitution. So you should go through the constitution, read it, and know whether if maybe you are okay with the constitution before you can acquaint yourself with that constitution. So the issue here is the man has his right of supporting whoever he chooses to support. But he has no right to have made the utterances that he made, demarketing the party by saying that the party has no candidate. So at what point, the question we are asking is, at what point has he made his findings to say the party has no candidate? That's the crux of the matter. Nobody is saying Section 40 has given the right for people, actually, what we call freedom of association, freedom of participation. You can even see serving parliamentarians, not only even parliamentarians, executive, we are just seeing defections flying everywhere. Governors are flying, the campaign from their parties to the ruling party. What gives them that right? It is because there is a constitutional provision that gave them that right. But I'm saying there should be decorum when people do something.
Honorable,
when somebody come out on a national television and say YPP had no candidate.
Yeah, so I was going.
It's false information.
I was going.
And I know you. If you make your findings, you look. It is even good that you please play the video so that the whole world will see.
No, I mean we were live.
And then I can also give you video of where we conducted a primary.
Let me tell you his explanation when because I asked him here why he would insist that the party has no candidates, even though the YPP candidate is on the list of candidates on the INEC website. He said that he questions, one, the strength and manner in the strength of the candidate, the manner in which the candidate emerged, and also the fact that the party is ignoring the zoning principle of Anambra State. That the South, which is where Governor Soludo comes from, is supposed to do 8 years. But 8 years, yes. Instead, the party, YPP, has brought someone from the North to run against him.
Mr. Terry, thank you. In fact, it's another good opportunity to get some things set on record straight. I don't believe in zoning. I don't. What I am looking for, and I think Nigerians should be looking for, is meritocracy. Someone who has a merit, who has the capacity, okay, to deliver good governance for his people. Where has zoning taken us to? I don't want to start playing that rhetorics. Those zoning things are just political rhetorics, okay? It does not translate to the real reality that people desire in good governance. What has zoning taken? Where has it taken us to? Where has zoning taken us to? I don't want to go even deep into, you see, we talk about democracy, we talk about all the frames, you know, or the names you give to whatever we are practicing today. But I tell you, I'm a Democrat. But if you look at all the development, the infrastructural development today in Nigeria, you'll find out that most of these things were even built by some of these past military leaders, for example. And I'm not supporting anything cool. What you are seeing today, this zoning, is actually a democratic, what I would call a democratic coup as against people who can deliver governance, deliver service to the people. And then we come with rhetorics of zoning. What do you mean by rhetoric? What's zoning? For God's sake, zoning has no any effect to somebody who will go to the market and you will buy the same.
Let's play that video. Let's get a clear context of it. So we hear his exact words.
Yes.
And then we'll come back and talk about his concerns around unfair hearing, which led to his expulsion.
Yeah.
Not contesting any election. I am the leader of YPP. My supporters are here. In my constituency, I've told them to collapse to His Excellency Kuma Soludo. Because I go the line for the Ananya. We are not contesting any election. Even if we will contest any election, Anambra North. So YPP is not contesting this election. The only two people that contest this election, Muamabu, Apga, number one. His Excellency Soludo, number two. So all we know about
Okay, that's exactly what Honorable Zokwe said that got him expelled.
So I would like to ask you a question.
From that party.
Does that justify a moral? Does he have the moral justification to say such a thing?
Are you concerned about the fact that he made that declaration without consulting the party?
Even if he had consulted us to say that he wanted to go ahead to make such declaration, there's no way we would have given him the nod or the support. And the reason is because the party went through a constitutional process, okay, to nominate a candidate. What is the meaning of Anambra North, South, or Central?
Okay, so let's talk about the process.
He said something. There's something he said. And I said I was going to also touch light on it. He said that he was telling the state chairman that the state chairman should find a way on how they can meet the governor so that the governor will now pay us nomination form and hold the place so that nobody would have contested the election. Because in his own conviction, he is supporting Soludo. So what it means is
he said in his own conviction, the party doesn't have the strength to go into this election and come out with a good result.
No. Excuse me. What makes a political? Why are political parties registered?
Mr. Amakiri, here's why. I'm sure you've followed conversations that have said that we have just too many political parties in Nigeria who just exist. And that's why our INEC had come up with the whole issue of deregistering political parties. Now you've lost the strongest member of your party due to expulsion. And he had said that we don't have the strength to go up against APGA in Anambra State. Perhaps we can collapse our structure and work with the governor. And also, one more thing, he also drew attention to another member of the State Assembly. If I can get that name.
Maybe Augustine, maybe one young man
who is supporting
the
APC. And he is questioning why no action was taken against this Ike Doji, I think Austin Ike Doji, who openly supported the APC.
He should have provided evidence where the Ike Doji openly supported. Look, we are not daft, okay? We acted based on, thank God, you yourself had played a video where this man was on national television saying why people does not have a candidate. Ikedi Odi did not do that on national television. I am not supporting the fact that whether Ikedi Odi had gone to do anti-party or whatever. We do not have incontrovertible facts that this Ikedi Odi that you are mentioning now, whether had actually engaged in anti-party. We don't have that such information.
There is a video that, it's interesting you say you don't have, but there's a video of him on social media wearing the APC regalia.
The Ikedi Odi?
Yes, and support.
That's what I'm saying, that we have not gotten
But
that.
You mentioned his name. I hadn't even mentioned his name. When you mentioned his name,
I
it almost suggested that you had heard about it.
I should know the names of all my elected members under YPP. I should know their names.
On this basis.
And we've had that rumor.
He has said.
And we've had that rumor.
So
okay, but we've not seen.
But would you investigate it?
We've investigated, and we've not seen. We're trying to get this kind of video. We've not gotten it.
We'll try and see if we can get that video
and the truth of the matter is that, number one, the party is not a commercialized party. Thank God he told you here on national television that YPP is not the kind of party that you have to go and break the banks, sell your homes, okay, for you to get nominated or to purchase nomination form or get support. And I thank God. And that's why we stay. We want to stay with that our conscience. That's what I used to tell my people in the party. I said, live integrity. There is nothing like integrity in politics, and including myself, nothing like integrity. But there is something we call conscience, politics of conscience, okay? We have conscience. The kind of politics we play in YPP, we have conscience to ourselves. There are certain things we can't do. For example, like the kind of thing he said, we should take money from Soludo and then we don't. The party wants to make inroad. You just said, in this Anambra election, the party came third. If somebody didn't contest the election, we would have come third.
So Honorable Uzokwe's argument is that we don't have the strength to go into this election.
That is his own conviction.
That's his argument.
His conviction.
That
his conviction. But the party is convinced that Ifeanyi Ubah has left a legacy, right? Let me tell you, 2019 general election, where Ifeanyi Ubah actually emerged as the winner, the party had no members up to 1,000, okay, in Anambra. But Ifeanyi Ubah won the election with almost 80-something thousand votes. So the people who elect is based on the personality, okay, and also their belief about the party that person belongs to. There are personalities that will go to even APGA. Today, APGA, they said, it's a traditional party in Anambra. Why did Peter Obi left APGA? Why? It's because he felt he wants to his political allegiance, he wants to advance his political allegiance to another political party. Because this thing is not a religion, for God's sake. Now, the issue is that I have no problem with Peter Uzokwe saying he wants to support Soludo, or he had supported Soludo and he has won or whatever. But I have problem with the manner in which, he actually expressed himself, or he went about the whole thing. You cannot say a party do not have a candidate. When a party, so we traveled from Abuja, I was even in Anambra on the day of that primaries with 7 other national working committee members, or let me say primary election committee members who went for that primaries. And then people in the state gathered from the 21 local government, okay, had delegates who voted this candidate. And you are now sitting here to say that that process is rubbish? No, you can't do. Nobody demarcates the party like that.
Yes, but
and you expect us to just allow him.
But one of the things he also questioned is how his suspension turned into an expulsion within 48 hours.
It's very possible. The party has a constitution, and we vote that constitution.
What was the portion of the constitution?
The states. He was here, and he confirmed to you that he was even, informed of a letter that they were going to invite him. And he told them that they should go ahead. He was here, he said it. I listened to that interview. He said that he told them that they should go ahead, meaning he doesn't care. And when the information or the petition got to us at the national had to take, the necessary actions based on the recommendations.
Did you invite him?
Listen, we do not need to invite him. We don't need to invite him because He already has said, the state has invited him, and he said they should go ahead. So meaning he doesn't need even invitation. And let me tell you, this invitation, he made mention of sometimes where the party was supposed to engage with all the elective persons, and letters were written to him. He himself, in his letter, I can read the letter to you. He said in his response that the party should count him out henceforth for any further engagement about party affairs. I have the letter. So when a man tells you that, he's already telling you that he's no more interested. And when you talk about multi-party system, what advantage or disadvantages it has, let me tell you, the advantage of a multi-party system is what brought Peter Uzokwe today on board as a National Assembly member. He told you here that he was a member of ABGA. ABGA never gave him ticket all those days. So if there was no multi-party system, how would he have come into YPP and won an election? The same thing with Ifeanyi Ubah. 13 other members who won election under Young Progressives Party. As we speak today, we have 2 chairmen serving in Abia, numerous councillors. We have produced in Plateau State a state House of Assembly speaker. That's the beauty of multi-party system. That's the beauty of multi-party. So they have the advantages and they have the disadvantages. But the advantages of a multi-party system is far, far, far better than a one-party system.
Honorable Peter Uzokwe had also insisted that he had financially supported the party for so long and he didn't like the way the party treated him in the course of this.
Financially supported the party at where? At which level?
He hasn't.
No, you had to ask him. Try to ask at which level. You know, one thing
but he also says he's the leader of the party.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I said when you are in an organization, please try. And this is my advice to everyone. In this, your channel's television, I know you have code of conduct that guides you. There are certain things you can't do. I am sure this channel's television has our own code of conduct on what there are red lines you must not cross. So the party has a constitution. Who told him that he's the party leader? The constitution of the party says, if you want, I can read it to you. Okay, please just give me
Because I know he had said that
the
way it obtains in other political parties where the highest ranking elected official
you see, that's the mistake they do.
passes as the leader of the party.
Because in our own constitution, that's why our own constitution is different from
There's no
all these other
provision for party leader?
No, I will read something for you now. Don't worry.
Because if for example, he has claimed to always support this party financially, and has said that even when Ifeanyi Ubah was around, Ifeanyi Ubah had also supported the party in his own capacity. It almost suggests that at his level, he had taken over financing the party. So the question is, did this party receive financing from him? Because
just permit me, let me read Article 29.5 of the party constitution that talks about the national leader. We created this in the constitution when we were putting the constitution together because we felt that, yes, there's somebody who should take responsibility of a leader of the party. The party, Article 29.5 says, there shall be a national leader for the party who shall perform the following functions. A, act as the official representative of the party. B, typically responsible for managing the party's relationship with the general public. C, shall be the public face of the party and the principal media contact. D, shall take a leading role in developing and communicating party policy, especially election platforms, to the electorate. E, shall be elected by the National Executive Committee of the party. So Peter Uzokwe should tell you, when did INEC elected him as a party leader?
Let me ask you a question. What's your next line of action? Because he believes that he's
this tells you that he was ignorant of even the constitution of the party that he belongs to. The issue, Terry, sorry, let me tell you something. It's quite unfortunate. Some of us, I'm a politician, but I don't belong to the transactional kind of politicians. And the reason I say so is because there are some people who sometimes maybe they pay them we have been enjoying peace in our party. So some people, they pay them to go and destabilize the party.
Is that what you suspect?
Yes, and it will not work. If that is what he's planning,
Is that the latest suspicion?
No, it's not a latest.
Because
it's not a latest suspicion. But I need to tell him, if he's listening or other person, anybody who is thinking that he thinks that he can fuel crisis in the party to destabilize his party, then I'm sorry. Maybe the person should wait for his own consequences. Because the founding fathers of this party, who are still in this party, who believe in the ideology of the party, will fight to the fullest.
It almost suggests that you would be sticking to the expulsion, and there's no room for reconciliation. Because you already suspect him of being a saboteur.
You know, the truth of the matter is that we are human beings. We offend God and God forgives us. Okay? We must be flexible in life. It depends, right? This is something that has to do with moral value. Let the person even admit.
He says he won't. He says
you can't forgive somebody or readmit somebody who always feels.
No, he already insists that he was unfairly treated, and doesn't think that he said this clearly, that he was unfairly treated, and if the party reaches out to him, maybe there will be an option for it.
That's what I'm saying.
So your party will not.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yes.
That he feels he was unfairly treated. So he also didn't feel that the party was unfairly treated by him. So when you take side to yourself, as if you are always right.
But how does it feel? Mr. Amakiri, I want to know from you, because the strength of the party is in its elected officials. I'm not holding brief for Honorable Uzokwe because it's a party issue. But when you have a member who's the only member of the National Assembly.
Who told you he's not the only member? We have 3 House of Rep members.
In the National Assembly?
Yes.
But he is the leader of that.
He is not.
He is not the leader.
We have 3 House of Rep members. In fact, as a matter of fact, there were people who were announced as winner of that 2023 election before him. Okay? In the eyes of the law.
But one of the YPP members had defected.
That is what I want to let you know today. In the eyes of the law, even with all those rumors going on, people have defected from YPP or whatever. In the eyes of the law.
But you still have your 2 members.
Those members.
Or have they defected?
They say they have defected.
So they are no longer YPP members.
One, in the eyes of the law. In the eyes of the law, they are still members of YPP.
So with the expulsion of Uzokwe now, is he still a member? In the eyes of
and
the law, he's still a member of your party?
Let me tell you the reason why I still tell you that in the eyes of the law, they are still members. Whether, number one, I'm not even aware whether if they have anybody tendered letter of resignation to YPP. You know, among those 2 other persons you're talking about. Let us even leave that side. I don't want to give that expo, right? But even in the eyes of the law, as we speak today, they are members of YPP.
In the eyes of the law, does the expelled member Uzokwe still belong to the YPP?
Well, in the eyes of the law?
Yeah.
Well, the party is already taking disciplinary measures on him. He can still be a member of YPP, yeah,
Are
but
you
he's
going to
been
try
expelled.
to reclaim your mandate from him?
Sorry?
Are you going to try to reclaim the party's mandate from him?
No, there is a mandate. Sometimes you don't dissipate your energy in wanting to reclaim it. You don't dissipate your energy. When I don't want to use the phrase of good radiance to bad rubbish. No, I don't want to use it. But the sense I'm making is, there's no need to dissipate your energy on something you know that has no even value. It has no value. So
what are you considering not to have value?
If you have a House of Rep member, right, and has not been actually been fair to the party.
Has it
right?
always been unfair to the party?
Excuse me, that's what I'm saying.
Or is this incident?
That's
because I know
he
drew my attention to the issue in April when the party had invited him.
Call him again. You can re-invite him to your studio and ask him, since he assumed office at the National Assembly. I think this is close to 2 years, thereabout.
2.5.
2.5 years.
Yeah.
Tell him, please help me do the mathematics. How many months in 2.5 years? Let's say we have 12, 24. half is
Almost
6.
30.
30. So ask him, out of the 30 months, how many months has he paid his dues to the party? I challenge him to bring the record. So some things are not worth saying, okay? That's why I said we want our peace. But if you decide not to give us peace, you will not have the same peace. Nobody is pressurizing you or anything. 30 months, I just gave you a kind of a statistic disposition. 30 months, not even a 1 month you have come to pay any dues to the party. So of what value does that person?
Mr. Bishop Amakiri, I would like to thank you very much for
So,
coming to speak.
but I would like to, let me make my final note, please. Sorry.
Please go ahead.
YPP is not a transactional party. And if anybody comes with that mentality into YPP, he has met his political brick wall. We will treat that person more than even what Peter Uzokwe.
Okay. I'd like to thank you very much for coming to speak with me on Political Paradigm, Mr. Bishop Amakiri, National Chairman of the Young Progressives Party. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much, Terry.
Well, that's all the time we have on Political Paradigm. If you'd like to catch the 2 interviews, please go to YouTube and search Political Paradigm, or simply go to channelstv.com. Thank you for your time as well. I'm Terry Ikumi. Goodbye.